In this week's video, what's in my camera bag of 2019? Oh, I'm sorry. Actually, I realized that I'm not using a camera bag. So if you would like to bail out now, please do so. Otherwise, stick around and I will show you all of the cameras I've had, starting from the earliest analog compact camera to the latest one of today. So this is my vlogging setup. A FZ300 with the Joby GorillaPod and a Rode Video Micro. And I'm using the 5D Mark IV with a 50mm lens. It all started several years ago with this type of 110 film analog camera. I then bought a second-hand Canon EOS analog camera that I used for a couple of years, but to make my website more fun, I bought my first digital camera. It was a Olympus C200 zoom. Over here we can see the C300, but it was good enough for that type of website that I had at that time. On my first trip abroad, I brought a Canon PowerShot S3IS to be able to take as many photos as possible. I now was interested in doing more travels, so I decided to go for the Canon EOS 60D. A big step up from the previous PowerShot version. I used it a lot, several years, and it followed me around several different trips abroad. To step up even further, I went for the Canon EOS 5D Mark III with several L-type lenses. The 5D Mark III took me along several different countries around the world, and when the 5D Mark IV came out, I decided to buy it, mostly because it had a built-in GPS receiver. After a couple of years, I realized that I had spent just too much money on these 5D series of cameras, together with several L-type lenses. I didn't really use it that much, so I sold all of my expensive equipment and went for a Panasonic Lumix FZ300. A much simpler camera, considered as a bridge camera, but it's pretty nice to use while traveling. I also bought the GoPro Hero 5 Black to be able to take videos underwater and cold places. By luck or by accident, depending on how you look at it, I found the Canon EOS 10D at a second-hand shop. I only paid $20 or 20 euros. So it was super cheap, and as you can see, it's basically brand new. I got the idea to actually create a series of videos comparing the XXD set of cameras. So I then bought the Canon EOS 20D. As you can see, it's pretty similar to the 10D, Canon EOS 30D. Also part of my review series. The display is now a little bit bigger. The 40D. The next one, also in pretty good shape, now a even bigger display. I also bought the Canon EOS 50D, and once I was done comparing the 10 to 50D, I decided to actually sell all of these 5 cameras. But in fact, I was only able to sell the 50D, so I'm now stuck, or I'm still keeping the 10 to 40D. Perhaps I will try to complete this series to also add the 50, 60, 70, 77 and 80D. To be able to do better videos, especially in low light, I went for the Panasonic Lumix FZ2000, which do have a bigger sensor than the FZ300, but I realized during vlogging that there's a crop when you do 4K videos. And yes, I must admit, I had the 5D Mark IV before. I sold it, then now, a couple of years later, I decided I really like the 5D Mark IV, especially for the GPS feature. It will be super nice to have the GPS function when I'm in Norway this summer. And to almost make this series complete, I today got the 5D Mark II. As you can see, it's in pretty bad shape, but it's still good, it works. The shutter count is over 90,000, but I'm not going to use this that much, so it will basically be part of my museum, missing the 60, 70, 77 and 80D, and then the 5D Mark III. We'll see in the future if I will decide to buy them. to see more videos about travel and photography, you should comment, like and subscribe. And I'll see you soon again. Bye bye.